What's up guys, it's Richard here with another video review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the BitFenix Outlaw, another one of their mid-size chassis. Let's get started, take a look at what came inside. So let's start off with the accessories. We've got a quick installation guide. It runs through what came inside the box, how to install the different size drives. We've got taking the side panels off and putting them back on, how to install the fans in different locations on the case. We've also got a lock loop, which I'll cover shortly. Came with another box. Here we have, let's see, we've got some motherboard mounting platforms, we've got some screws, we've got a BitFenix electroplated sticker so you can actually put this anywhere you want on the case. Got some more thumb screws in there, variety of different sizes. We've got the lock loop panel. So basically what you can do with this is screw this onto the inside of the case and it goes out the back and then it slits through one of the side panels. So if you're going to be leaving your computer unattended at a LAN, you're scared that anyone's going to get inside and take your precious hardware, you can put that on there to be on the safe side. And we've also got a whole bunch of cable ties in there as well, so you can keep everything nice and neat on the inside. So the majority of the Outlaw is actually comprised of steel with a matte black finish on it. However, at the front we've got our plastic panel here. As you can see, we've got three 5¼ inch drive bays. These are removable ones. All you need to do is open up the sides and just unclip them from the inside. We've also got some vents on either side here at the front, and this also runs completely on either side as well, so you can ensure that you're going to get a nice amount of airflow going in to cool the hard drive. For the front panel connectors, we've got 4 USB 2.0 ports there. We've got our 3.5mm microphone and headphone jacks and 2 LED lights just above those. We've got our power button and our reset switch as well. On the top we also have 2 120mm fan mesh covers, so you can install 2 fans on the inside of the case and then you can exhaust the hot air out the top. Left hand side of the case is blank apart from these 2 small grooves here. This actually allows you to take the side panels off easier. So for the right hand side you can see we've got a big mesh window here, so this actually allows you to install either 120mm or 140mm fans on the actual side panel, so you can get some cool air blasting from the outside and then you can keep the components inside nice and cool. So at the back of the case, you notice that the layout is completely different to most other chassis. Up here we have 2 grommets for water cooling, so if you need to pull any tubes on the inside or outside of the case, you can do so through there. We've got 7 PCIe brackets here, as you can see I've already taken 2 out for a graphics card. Just below that we've got our included 120mm fan and our motherboard I/O shield, which is normally up here, and just below that we've also got a cutout for a PSU down the bottom. For the bottom of the case we've got 4 feet here. They've all got foam on the bottom of them, so there's not going to be any kind of vibration, and it also gives you about 1 centimeter of clearance between the bottom of the case and whatever surface you've got it on. We've also got a couple of screw holes here which I'll go through shortly. So let's take a closer look at the inside of the case. Up here we've got 4 5¼ inch drive bays, although you notice that only 3 of them are accessible from the front. Here we've got our front panel connectors. You can see that we've got black sleeves on them, so it fits well with the overall theme of the case. Down a bit further we've got 4 3.5 inch drive bays. A cool feature that BitFenix have done is they've actually put little rubber grommets on the bottom 2 here, so if you've got any noisy mechanical hard drives that vibrate a lot, this will help reduce any noise that they make. You can see we've got some cutouts here, so you can feed some cables through there. And another cool thing as well is, I'll just focus a bit more, you can see we've got 4 screw holes down there, so if you have a 2.5 inch drive you can install that by screwing it in through the bottom of the case just there. And since the most popular 2.5 inch drives are SSDs, which have no moving parts in them, you're not going to have to worry too much about cooling for that. For the base of the case you can see we've got 2 mesh cutouts here, so this one's for the power supply, so you can have the fan facing downwards. We've also got a couple of rubber feet there just to ensure that there's no contact between the metal and you're just going to have a bit of clearance there. And over here we can install a 120mm fan if you desire, and that way you can have some cool air blowing up onto the RAM and just all the other components that are going to be on this side of the system. As you can see, I've left a motherboard inside the case to give you guys an idea of the layout, and one thing I'd like to cover is the unique thermal design that BitFenix have used. So in a regular case you'll have a graphics card sitting roughly about here, about halfway inside the system. The problem with that is that these are one of the most heat intensive producing components inside. So you're going to have a huge amount of heat down here at the bottom of the case, and it's going to need to either be exhausted up the top or at the back. So you're just going to be traveling across all the other components, and it's generally going to be a lot more inefficient to cool. With the Outlaw you actually install the graphics cards up here at the top, so that's going to make it a lot easier since heat naturally rises and it's not going to run through anything down here. Another good thing about this as well is that you've got a huge card, think about a GTX 580 or a 590, you're going to start eating into where the 3.5 inch drive bays are around here, so it's going to make it a lot harder to build in, and if you're going to be swapping drives out a lot it's going to make it a bit more fiddly. But up here, it's going to go start towards the 5¼ inch dry bay area here. So most people generally only have one in their system, so it's not going to be too much of an issue, and you're just going to have in general a bit more space to work with. So onto the back of the inside of the case, you can see here we've got a bunch of different screw holes, different locations, so it fits pretty much any size motherboard. And here we've got one of my favorite features, which is a CPU cutout, which makes it so much easier if you need to replace or upgrade your CPU cooler down the track and you don't want to pull everything out of the inside of the case. Over here you can see we've got a couple of different slots where we can feed our cables and some rivets for the cable ties to be secured, so you can just keep the general cable management nice and tidy. And over here we've got sort of a hollow area, so if you're not using a modular power supply, you can just feed the excess cables and have them sitting around here. So that pretty much wraps it up for my video review of the BitFenix Outlaw. In my opinion, it's a great little case. If you're after a bang for your buck for your next computer build, I definitely recommend considering this one. It's got some great features in it and a good design for cooling. As usual, I will have a written review available, and that will be in the description box just below, so make sure to check that out, where I got some additional pictures in there as well. Thanks for checking out this video, guys, and if you enjoyed it and want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe.